I've now been a full-time YouTuber for 3 whole months. So today I wanted to sit down and share all the good, the bad, and my schedule of what daily life looks like these days. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then yes, I am a full-time YouTuber and I have been for the last 3 months. To give you a little bit of backstory real quick, I used to work full-time in accounting and I did this as my full-time job until I went on maternity leave after I had my son Peter in May 2020. I had a 3-month-long maternity leave. I came back to work at only 10 hours a week, very part-time, and really grateful that my employer let me have that flexibility. And I was also working remotely. I quickly realized that 10 hours a week plus doing YouTube plus being a full-time stay-at-home mom was a lot. And so I actually was able to drop that down to only 5 hours a week, which again, grateful for that flexibility. So from about November 2020 through June of 2021, I was working 5 hours a week remote doing accounting for my old employer while also being the sole caregiver for my son Peter. But I quit my job in June 2021, and so July I started this new endeavor of being an official full-time entrepreneur, full-time YouTuber. This is a dream that I had had for years, and I never thought that I'd ever be able to get to this point. And I think that it really took me having a baby and stepping back from my day job to realize that I could do this and could make it happen. And spoiler alert, I make more money from YouTube and I work much more part-time now than I did working full-time with my employer doing accounting. But it took me some years of working for free or basically free to be able to get to that point. Okay, let's talk about the good things that have happened in the last 3 months of getting to be a full-time YouTuber. First off is the freedom and flexibility. I fully work for myself now, which is freeing, but also hard and requires a lot of time management and determination, I think, when you are your own boss, because no one else is setting any sort of deadlines for you. You need to set that for yourself. But it's really nice to be able to have that freedom and flexibility to do it all by being with my son during the day and working on YouTube at night. Hi, it's 8:30 at night after my son went to bed, and here I am filming a YouTube video. So I've just loved being able to have that freedom and flexibility to work on my schedule. When I worked for my employer, my hours weren't set, but it was more just getting 5 hours in a week, which is super flexible, and it seriously was the best situation possible. But there were often times where coworkers would text me something urgent or get an email that I had to respond to, and so I still was always tied to someone else's timeline in a lot of respects because other people needed me for other things. Whereas now that I'm doing YouTube full time, it's just up to me of what I want to do when I want to do it. The other really good and awesome thing that I've loved of the situation is that I get to be more present with my son Peter. Peter is now 16 months and he is full-blown toddler mode, running all around the house. And I'm just so beyond grateful that I've been able to be a stay-at-home mom with him. When my husband Jacob and I got married 6 years ago, I always had the dream to be a stay-at-home mom, but didn't know how it would work out financially because we started off our marriage with so much debt. But we quickly worked to pay it off as soon as possible. We built up some savings goals and we're working on advancing our careers. And it took some time, it took work, it took 5 years of work to be able to get to that point. But we were able to make it happen where I get to be home with my son full time. I love getting to be the one who gets him when he wakes up, and I get to play with him in the morning, play with him in the afternoon, and just be the one who gets to see him grow and achieve new milestones, it feels every day. And I definitely don't take that for granted. Like I said, this is something that I've always dreamed of being able to do, to be a stay-at-home mom. And I share this knowing that that may not be everyone's dream, and that's totally okay. And I fully support the working moms who have kids at daycare, the stay-at-home moms who are home with kids. Either way you do it, whatever works best for you, I am in full support of that. And I also recognize that some people may have the dream to be a stay-at-home mom and can't right now. And so I also want to say, I recognize that, and my heart goes out to you if you're in that position, and I hope that you do get to live that out someday. But all that to be said, I'm just so grateful that I truly get to have the best of both worlds, where when Peter's awake, I'm with him, getting to spend time with him, and when he's asleep, I get to work. So I feel it's helped me to be a lot more present with my son now that I don't have this extra work schedule thing going on, because there were many times where I'd have to like log on while I was trying to do something with him, and it just felt kind of chaotic. So it's just nice to be like fully present with him. The third great thing that's come from this is that I just feel less stressed of doing it all. Honestly, I do. I guess I didn't realize how stressed out I was with trying to manage it. And I know it sounds ridiculous because I was only working 5 hours a week for my employer, but it was all just a lot when you add it up. So I work about 15 hours a week on YouTube, and then having an additional 5 hours a week working for my employer, and then being the caregiver and supervisor for Peter during the day. It was just a lot. And I felt like I wasn't able to take any like me time. Like all my time was focused on either Peter or my business or employer work. Like I felt like I didn't get just the time to rest. And so I feel like I have a lot more balance in my life. Even like that 5 hours when your time is so minimal, it's a lot. So I just feel a lot less stressed, and I just feel like I'm in a better headspace now that I am working full-time for myself and don't have that extra pressure of a day job. So let's talk about some bad things. Well, I guess not bad, but maybe just some like negative things, I don't know how else to phrase this, that have occurred in the last 3 months. The first thing that I've noticed is that the last 3 months have been maybe a little bit more lonely. And I know that a lot of stay-at-home moms feel that sense of loneliness, even though you're with someone all day long, but it's different when it's, you know, a toddler who doesn't say a whole lot. And it's nice to have like that adult interaction. So that is something that I did really appreciate about my day job. And I had awesome coworkers, and it was nice to get to interact with them at some point, even with maybe just like one meeting every other week, or just emails back and forth, or check-ins and things like that. And I don't really have that now that I don't work with my employer. But one awesome thing that I do have is this YouTube community. So my channel is mostly focused on budgeting and family finance. And for those who are doing any sort of money media platform, we have this thing called FinCon, which brings all these creators together. And I went to my first like FinCon conference in 2018, and I met some amazing friends there that I still talk to. I talked to one today even. So I've met awesome friends from FinCon, and it's been so helpful to know other people who are doing the same kinds of things, have the same, you know, business goals going on, and we chat often and check in with one another. So that kind of feels like my new coworkers, if you want to say, are my FinCon friends. So the other thing that's been a little bit hard since I quit my day job is income fluctuations. If you are an entrepreneur, if you own your own business, then you know that there are probably high highs and low lows. And let me tell you, I had some great high highs in the spring, and then I gave my notice at my employer the 1st of June, and I was there for another month, and then we went into July. July, August, and September have been 3 of the 5 lowest months I've had in the year thus far. And so I will say that it has been a little bit stressful to see that. I mean, like, I quit my job, and then the 3 months after that were some of my lowest income months. So that has been a little bit stressful, just knowing that like it's all on me to make that income, and it definitely fluctuates, high highs, low lows. I'll do a whole video at the end of the year sharing my full business income breakdown, so subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for that if you want to check it out. But I will say that my highest month this year so far has been over $14,000, and my lowest month this summer since I quit my day job was a little over $2,000. So obviously you can tell there are some high highs and low lows. But what I remind myself is that I should be expecting these fluctuations, and this is totally normal. Even going back and looking at previous years of my business finances, that's all been normal. And I will say that here's a win, here's a good thing, that my business has already made more money this year than it did last year. And we still have 3 more months to go. Actually, I think I made more money than last year as of like halfway through the year almost. So that's a huge win. Like, my business is still making a great amount of money, making more money than I did at my day job. And another huge win here is that my husband Jacob works for an employer, and he has a steady salary, so that has been very stable and steady for us, whereas like my business income is like up and down and up and down. So that's just something that I have to remind myself that I know it's going to be okay. But I will say it was kind of hard when it was like you take this leap, and then the first 3 months are like, Wah, wah, wah. But I expect some better income months here for the remainder of the year. Okay, let's talk about my schedule. So, like I said, I felt like I was having such a hard time trying to balance it all between being a mom, being with Peter, being an entrepreneur and working on my business, as well as taking time for myself and our household and my husband. And it just felt like it was so much. So we created a block schedule, or I created a block schedule. I ran it by Jacob to see what he thought. And I will share what our kind of daily schedule looks like for me being a stay-at-home mom, also a working from home mom, and a business owner. So I wake up at 6:30 typically, and I will get ready in about a half hour or less. Just basically, I don't even do my hair. I just straighten out a few crazy pieces, do my makeup, ready to go. Peter wakes up at 7, so I'll get him and bring him downstairs. We do breakfast and start enjoying our day. If it's nice outside, we like to go for some morning walks. We live in Portland, Oregon, so I know that our time is limited there, but I love to just spend all my morning time with Peter and being super involved in his activities. We'll do things with our Love Every toys, which we love, and I've shared about them before. We do other activities like with our sensory table and things like that for him. And then he has lunch at around 11 o'clock. I'll serve him lunch and we eat lunch together. And at 11:30, we'll go upstairs and get ready for nap time. So he goes down for a nap at noon. Peter's a short napper, and the nap that I can expect from him is about an hour and 15 minutes. Like, that's his average. Some days are a little bit longer, some days are shorter, but an hour 15. That is like my hustle time. That's when I get work done. As soon as I shut the door, say goodnight to him, then I try and get as much done as possible. So I have about an hour to an hour and a half of work that I get to get done during the day. So from 1:30-ish on is more time with Peter. I actually like to do a little bit of screen time, which, hey, I'm a mom who does screen time with my child. So Peter will watch an episode, like one episode. We do like less than 30 minutes of screen time a day. He'll watch an episode, and during that time, I will get more things done on my computer. And then we'll do more activities together. Next, at 3:30, that is when my husband Jacob gets off of work, and he actually works fully remote from our home, so he literally logs off and then comes downstairs. And from 3:30 to 4, we have blocked off as a little bit of me time. So he'll watch Peter, and I go upstairs and like chill, watch whatever I want on YouTube, just like enjoy my time. I get 30 minutes of that, which has honestly been so great to add that little bit of balance of me time. So from 4 to 7 o'clock, we're doing all family things, like all three of us, and included in that is like playtime with Peter and also cooking dinner. Maybe we'll go on like a family walk, and then we'll get Peter ready for bed around 6:15, and he goes down at 7. From 7 to 7:30, we try and tackle as much as we can doing some sort of pickup or household chore during that time. And then 7:30 to 8 is chill time, where we'll watch like an episode of TV together, Jacob and I. And during that time, I try and get a few things done like on my computer for household, like updating our budget, seeing if we need to have anything ordered, doing grocery shopping, those kinds of things. And then from 8 to 9 is another hour chunk that I have dedicated to work. So it's just me, and Jacob goes upstairs and hangs out, and then I just like get all the work done that I can during that hour. From 9 to 9:30, I then go upstairs, get ready for bed, shower, all that stuff. And then from 9:30 to 10:30 is just like chill hangout time, getting to catch up with Jacob some more, and just relaxing before bed. So that's kind of been our new schedule. I feel like it's worked out really well, being able to balance my time with my son as well as my business and family and getting things done around the house, and also having some me time in there, which is so valuable. So I work about 2.5 hours per day on my business, which is crazy to me that I work 2.5 hours per day. I work about maybe 15 hours a week. And I also work on weekends a little bit too, like it's Saturday right now. But I'm so grateful that I get to work that and make the income that I have from my business. Again, put in a ton of work on the front end for years, making very little to nothing to be able to grow this to be what it is today. And if you want to learn more about my YouTube journey, like how much money I make on YouTube, you can check out this video here. And stay tuned for an updated video from 2021 coming soon.
About to leave, already packed.